All right, guys. So apparently, there's a group of analysts on Wall Street that are working at Goldman Sachs that are complaining about working too much, right? So right now in the financial services industry on Wall Street, there's a special boom of what they call special purpose acquisition companies, right? And these are companies that basically raise money through going public with the goal of acquiring assets later. They're basically like blank check IPOs, right? That's kind of what they call them. But anyways, these analysts are being worked, right? They're like, oh, we're only sleeping 5 hours a day. We're being overworked and we're about to quit. We don't like it, blah, blah, blah. Right? And I'm telling you, man, these young people, right? These young people, and I'm a young person, I'm in this bucket, complaining about nothing, okay? They're complaining about working hard, right? And this goes with the culture war, guys. This is a part of the culture war. The younger generation doesn't think they have to work as hard as the older generation. They think that they can get a whole lot of something for nothing. And when you work at a company like Goldman, okay, when you work in the financial services industry at that level, you got to put in the work, okay? You got to put in the work because you get all the rewards in the world. And that's not just that industry, guys. That's with anything in life. If you want to be successful, you're going to have to outwork the competition, okay? Right? Those who... Yeah, you are. Those who eat don't sleep. But we have a society that's become so soft, right, that even those who work in an industry where traditionally working 95 hours a week, they're now bitching and complaining about it. Okay? And my guy, Jim Cramer, who I don't agree with on everything, right? I didn't agree with him on the GameStop stuff, but his take on this situation, I 100% agree with, and he goes off on these young folks, okay? So let's listen to what Jim Cramer has to say.
Hey, Jim, as a former Goldman man, it is. As a former Goldman man who probably slept under your desk more times than I can imagine, given that you only sleep 3 hours to begin with. True. What do you make of this debate among these analysts who seem to be very unhappy that they're working so hard?
I think it's a shame they're talking about how they only get to sleep 5 hours. I used to teach classes at 11 o'clock on Friday night and for associates. And I did that because I really didn't think that sleep was that important. So now they're grousing about 5 hours. I mean, that is like, why don't they just take naps during the day? I mean, this is ridiculous. These people, they should be working 4 hours. I know it's all the SPACs and they do all the work and they claim everybody's in West Palm. Give me a break. You go to Goldman Sachs because of the deal you make. You can make the money and then you can go do something great. 5 hours, that's all they get to sleep. I mean, that was pathetic. They should not be sleeping 5 hours. I used to go to the office at 4 o'clock. Every day, for the first 3 years, I took a half hour, moved my clock back until I was coming in at 4 o'clock every morning. And any associate that came in that after me, I was very disappointed. I mean, they weren't hitters. They weren't hitters.
This is like Jim, this is the great debate happening on Wall Street right now because you have a whole younger generation saying, you know, we're being hazed by an older generation. One saying they're enlightened, others saying there's something else. I mean, this is it. In 2 minutes, we just did the debate.
Friday night, 11 o'clock, and I only posted the names of the bottom 5 on the exam I gave. I gave the exam at around 11:45. And anyone who finished last, their names are on the door on Monday morning. Because you know what? Shame is what makes a good Goldman Sachs associate.
It's funny, Jim, because you said, I made a deal, and I know a lot of people out there are going to deal with who, and what do you have to sell for that deal?
You know, Lucifer was a partner.
Yeah, you still got your soul, though, at least. That's good. Thanks, Jim. Yeah. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. Coming up.
All right, so obviously you guys saw Jim Cramer go off. Okay, he went off. And I 100% agree with Jim Cramer. Because, guys, if you guys are not familiar with, investment bankers, private equity analysts, analysts in those industries, this is par for the course. They don't sleep, right? When I did an internship in New York City in 2015, right, I was living with my friend who was working in investment banking, right, as an analyst, his internship. Dude didn't sleep. I mean, dude would literally come home at 1 o'clock at night, would get up and go to work at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. That's just what he did, right? And they were compensated very, very well for that, okay? Now, he's built a successful career in which, he was an analyst. Again, he continued that in which he didn't sleep at all, okay? And he was making a lot of money. And now he's working at a private equity firm, right? In which, if he continues to work there more years, dude's going to be making millions of dollars, okay? So what Jim Cramer is saying is 100% true. In order to be successful, okay, you have to sacrifice. That's just what it is, right? A lot of people complain about work-life balance. Young people, it's like, bruh, if you want to be successful, if you want to be the top of the top, right? If you want to make millions of dollars, if you want to, have a great life in your, mid-30s, 40s, 50s, where you're going to be chilling, in your 20s, you got to sacrifice, man. You got to sacrifice, right? So I don't feel bad for any of these people that's complaining because they know what they signed up for. When you sign up to work at a company like Goldman, again, I don't have experience working there. I just have friends that work in the industry that's worked at some of these top firms. You know what you're getting into, right? And it's par for the course. But again, it doesn't just apply to that industry. It also applies to just life in general, guys, right? Like, if you want to just get up, go to work at 9, get off at 5, then don't be surprised when you're, still working like that at 50, 55 years old and, you don't have that much, right? You struggling living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm just being real. I'm just being real, guys, because this is how you succeed. You don't sleep. Yesterday, I literally was talking to, a guy that was retired from the Army after 20-some years. He was like, yeah, I did not have a work-life balance. Like, I didn't sleep. I had a family, right? I was trying to move up. I was working hard. Like, I was doing what I had to do. I just didn't sleep. I just didn't have time. And now, dude is chilling at 50-some years old as a ROTC teacher that's retired from the Army, making over 100-some K. Chilling, right? Chilling. Because he put in the work. He was like, sleep is for poor people. It really is. Sleep is for poor people. If you want to be poor, then sleep, right? You heard the sound. Sleep when you die, right? Sleep, you got to sacrifice. Those who are sleeping all day, there's other people out there making money while people sleep, right? There's a reason why every single day I make so many videos and I try to cover as many topics as I can, right? Because I know that at the end of the day, putting in the work long term is going to lead to success long term, where in the future, my life will be a lot easier, right? But that's something that you have to do in your 20s. You have to sacrifice. We're living in a society where young people think that they don't have to sacrifice anything. They don't have to put in any work. Everything should just be handed to them, right? You don't have to do what the last generation did. The last generation didn't know what they was talking about. They didn't know what they was doing, right? They worked so hard for nothing. Now, I will say there is a difference between working hard and working smart. Obviously, you have to work smart, right? If you're working, a ton and you're not working towards having your own thing, or you're not working towards something that's going to make you a lot of money in the end, that's going to allow you to retire early, obviously, yes, working a lot is probably not going to do you any benefit, right? Especially if, again, you're not trying to start your own business or you're not saving a lot of that money that you're working for, okay? If you're just working a lot and then you're just spending it, then you're going to be working a lot for the rest of your life. But when it comes to investment banking, finance, certain industries, right? Medicine, being a doctor, being a lawyer, being anything in life, right? You have to work smart and you have to work hard. And when you work hard and you work smart, for example, in an industry like that, you leave and you go to these other firms where you get paid more money, or you make these connections where you can get money for venture capital, right? If you want to start your own business, you're well connected already. You can get the money to easily start your own business, to easily have your own startup, to do this and do that. That's what you get. You get rewarded everything for the amount of work. You just got to sacrifice sleep. You know, in college, there was a saying that was like, you have social life, grades, and sleep. One of them got to go, right? You can have social life and grades, but then you can't have sleep, right? You can have sleep and grades, but you can't have a social life, right? You can have a social life and sleep, but you ain't gonna have the grades. You got to sacrifice, man. So, you know, I just want to comment on this because I can speak on this a little bit personally. Having worked in financial services industry, now obviously I wasn't at that level, but having friends at that level, like seeing what they went through, seeing what they've done, and seeing what they got out of it, like the amount of money that they make, the amount of connections that they have, like, again, I feel no sympathy for people complaining. I feel no sympathy because that's what they signed up for. And like I said, anything in life, guys, you know, you're going to have to sacrifice sleep. Okay? So I want to chime in on this because I think this is an important topic. And, you know, this is one of those topics the old people are right about. They're right about it. Those who are successful don't sleep, right? They work all the time. Hence this video right here, while I'm obviously not in my regular recording studio. So let me know what you guys think about this. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black Conservative Perspective. Peace.